Hey everyone, again, we're gonna plop back into what I was doing today already on stream. And what I did is split my Neovim config into a bunch of files to make it much more manageable. Now, what I want to do is revert a change that I made to make it more manageable because it's no longer needed. Let me elaborate. If I do vscode.lua, here we have a bunch of hotkeys as well as functions. Now, we don't need to have these functions in the same file. We could put these functions in another file and just have the mappings, making this much cleaner. And also, we would be hiding functions that we are currently not using. Makes sense? And aside from that, there are other mappings that we have. So, fuck, that's a lot of files. I think it's like, what, 14 files? I remember counting them. Yeah, 14 files. Maybe more now? I don't know, I'm bad at counting. Can you hear me? Yeah, you can hear me, and I actually never checked the stream. It's healthy. Seems to be healthy. That's great. So, here we have VS Code, right? Can you please show me, yes, breadcrumbs. So, aside from VS Code mappings, we also have key map plugins, no. Remaps, features, yes, features is what we are looking for. And here as well, there are some functions that I either have to keep or just will. But a lot of stuff, like this, for example, that doesn't need to be a variable, you know? But a better explanation for what we're also going to be doing today, if we go to remaps, that's literally just this character becomes these characters. So it also doesn't really need to be explained. Not really. Because whenever, like, okay, this adds readability, right? Oh wow, I'm surprised. Hold up, what just happened there? Strange. Right, so this adds readability. You can look at it and you're like, oh, copy current character. Now this makes more sense. So it's good, like it's a good idea to have it here, if I'm being honest. But on the other side, just see YL and you're like, oh, copy a character. Basically, it doesn't need to be that readable. And those things which are hard to understand as they are, I'll maybe add comments. So, what I could do is do this entire thing using Vim motions and the like, but I want to make use of SD, a terminal program that I installed yesterday or the day before yesterday, which is basically an easier to use sed. An easier to use sed, which is just kind of nice. It's more consistent, it's more clear, and so on and so forth. And you can do in place replacements in files. So I can do something like, first of all, let's go to dot files. Let's go to dot files Neovim. Can I do this? Yes. Fuck, I love Zoxide. Okay, and now we can do something like SD, then from the start local space, we replace with nothing in remaps.lua, you know? So yeah, remap, boom. And it would do its thing. I don't particularly want to right now, but I guess it's safe. Let's try it out, and it also will let me know whether it's regex by default or not. So let's do it. Yeah, so it's regex by default. And I can undo it still, so it's pretty safe. I thought that I wouldn't be able to, but no, it turns out it actually lets me save pretty easily. Okay, so what I want to do is basically do a regex to take this just delete it, then take this as a group, and then replace this with this group that we got. How to do that, I am completely unsure, but I think it's a learning opportunity to at least try to figure it out. So let's do exactly that. And how do we do that? Good question. So SD is not something that I have in my links, which is unfortunate. So in software, I want to add it here. Let's search SD GitHub on Google, which is confusing because I could search on GitHub, but it's usually kind of faster and more clear to do it on Google, believe it or not. Okay, so let me copy the link so I can add it here. SD. That's great. So what I want to check out, I already forgot actually. Right, I want to check out how I reference groups. There's probably an example or two. Okay, so to mean groups of the regex expression, you use this. Okay, I think I have an idea. Yeah, it's going to be weird, like really weird, but it should work. And you know that if a sentence starts with this, it's gonna be good. So, fuck, this is gonna be fun. Okay, so SD, and we start. So local space, all that we actually don't need. So word plus, so at least one word character. That includes underscores, by the way. And then we escape equals, because I think we need to do that. And by the way, immediately, so I can be more sure, I can use the P flag to preview, which is very convenient. After the equal sign, we print a space. Boom, our first group. Our first group. Right, so we take anything here, anything except a double quote. At least one, actually no, at least 0. And that is our first group. I wonder, like, by the time I get this regex correct, would I have already done all of this? Counting the lines, maybe even not, I don't know. The more efficient, I guess, way to do it, or rather a faster way, not a more efficient way, would be macros. But regardless, so now we got the first group, and after that we get a new line, and we start another group that says map anything, period, anything. So we get to the first period. So it would be V2. Right, I forgot to do a very important thing, to show you the keys that I'm actually pressing. And since I'm doing like Neovim specific stuff, it's even more important. So we get here, after map, to the first comma. Then we do it again. So now we're here. Right? And a space. Okay. That is all that we have to catch. Now, what if there is a comma? And you know how I'm gonna deal with this issue, I'm just gonna look. There's no commas there. YouTube be not modifying. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. Like, by default, when you subscribe to a channel, you get some notifications, which is like, I don't get it. Like, it's kind of strange. It's not quite there, it's not quite here. Like, it's not quite everything where it's actually helpful, and it's not quite nothing, or it's also helpful but in a different way. So yeah, I guess if you're interested in my content, make sure to click the bell and click all. That way you can be sure, but strange regardless, you know. So we caught up to the space, then we would use the group. Okay, so I think that's it for our rejects. Now what we replace it with, we take the first group, we take the second group actually. It is too interesting. You mean like YouTube? Yeah, so makes it too easy for me to procrastinate. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's understandable. Like, you just watch content and it's so enticing sometimes. But I guess I was able to successfully develop like this whole thing where I watch some content and then I get like a signal from my body basically saying you should do something now. It's a very like natural feeling, and it's very convenient because I then go on to start a stream, for example. Right, so, and then we grab the first group and this. And we do that in remaps.lua. What do we get? Interesting. So no, we do not need to escape the equal sign. I needed to do that somewhere, and I don't remember where. A lot of programs have some weird rejects. Hold up, let's look from the top. I have something similar too, but I never know what I should do since the thing I had to do in the first place was understanding what to do. Huh. Lol. That's why I think tasks lists are so convenient. Like, I just have a whole ass shit that I can rely on being able to do, you know? Like, I can be sure that I won't be bored, basically. But sometimes you just kind of run out of everything and you're like, well, fuck, what do I do now? Used to be like a real problem for me in the past. Right, so what happened there? Oh, I see. I have 88 tasks. Holy shit. That's a lot of tasks. And I imagine some of them are like a single action that you just maybe couldn't afford to do at the time where you added it. And then you like get to that task and you're like, really? How is it here since the 6th of January? That's crazy. You know? Like 20 of them are things that would take years in Interesting. That's not a task, that's like a whole goal, I guess. Right, so the problem with this thing... Oh, that's interesting. The fact that sometimes these quotes, but it's not a problem enough where it matters. Well, actually, let's do this thing. I CS this to this and do the same thing here. We don't need this final new line. Boom, that is fixed in a different way, but fixed regardless. Right, so after we grab this, we just take everything until the end of the line. Now I did have a task, remove completed task. I managed to complete it, although there was a paradox. Yeah. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah, this seems to be exactly what I want. I didn't expect this to, like, work, you know? And you know what? I'll squish them. I will most definitely squish them. That is kinda nice. Okay, now we remove this flag. And fucking let's go. Isn't that brilliant? I mean, yeah, this didn't work, but we can just DAK. Why there? Little bro, why there? DAK. Then leader DL. We go to the end. H, GR, inside word. So it's like simple to do. I just didn't want to do it like many times, over and over. Interesting. A commented out. I guess we do the same thing here. Does Control-O work correctly in insert mode? Yes, yes. And I have used it. Turns out it's not very useful often if you're used to just going to normal mode. If you're okay with pressing escape often, you don't really need it because Control-O is more difficult to press than escape, at least for me. But yeah, like it works. It's just not entirely helpful. Find it interesting that this didn't do shit. Doing this with the regex wasn't necessarily the fastest solution, but it was so fun. It was so like interesting, like, huh. Actually an interesting separation. We should probably separate them by mode then. Like all the normal mode and so on, you know? Boop. If we gotta group them, and we don't necessarily have to, but I would rather, you know? Might as well do it by mode. Makes it a bit cleaner. And some of them don't necessarily have to be moded, like they could stay like these, but don't, for not well-explained reasons, usually. I just kind of decide, is it a normal mode or an all mode? And figure out then. Let's commit this. Simplify remaps Neovim. Okay, what about features? A similar thing. But here I want to do it manually, actually. Like, I could probably just use the same exact regex, but if I remove this now and then have to look at this, I'm like, what the fuck does this do? Well, I guess I am using the key bindings myself, so I don't necessarily want to replace everything here, you know? But a lot of it I do. So let's make a macro now. We record into U to make sure, actually, yeah, to make sure we go to the start, DAK, leader DL, go, left, GR inside word. And then this for good measure. Okay. So that is simple. So is this, so is this. This I'm going to keep explained. Let's actually And we can do it with regex later. Multiply visual also makes sense to be like explained as a function, and most things here actually should be. So let's grab this and put it at the bottom. Basically things that don't really need to be explained, so we don't. Go to end of previous line. Okay, yeah, that's all like great and nice. Yeah, let's actually do it this way. It's both less and more clean at the same time, strangely. Okay. Yeah, all of these should still have variables, so they explain themselves. Because otherwise, like, what is this? Like, literally, what is this? You would have to, like, try it out, and even then, how useful will it be really? So that is good to be explained. This isn't too bad, but still better to be explained. And then very simple stuff here, which you could call remaps, but I think they're features more specifically. I guess, no, I guess they're remaps. That's fair, okay. So what did I actually do? I moved some stuff to remaps. I guess we don't necessarily need to commit it now. Now for VS Code is honestly the most important change that I wanted to make. First of all, ooh, interesting. Can I? Basically, I want to replace this with an uppercase one. But the idea kind of falls apart, because then I have to also change this, making the regex unnecessarily complex when what I could do is this, which is manual, sure, but it's better in a way. And the reason why I want to do this to begin with is because I'm going to remove all the local and make the functions global, move them to another file, and make the mappings here, and the functions should stay there. That way, even if I don't use some functions, I don't necessarily have to delete them immediately. Okay, so let's do that. Just come back here, SD, local, space, yes, but instead of remaps, we do VS Code. Come back, boom, it's done. It's so convenient. And it's true that you could do something like that with this, but I just kind of found the said implementation in Neovim overall kind of wonky, kind of annoying to use, because it's very inconsistent and therefore very annoying. Actually, what am I doing? I can make a macro for this. Let's write it to O this time. We make sure we're on the first line, we go to the next word, we bloop it, and then we go $2, very like bougie, I guess, and we do it again. Then we move to down and we start recording. Yeah, here we just do it ourselves because there's no mapping that we have to change, or at least it's later. Oh fuck, Spider is so convenient. The fact that I can just not think about, oh, how many times do I have to press W to get through those quotes and such. I don't have to worry about that anymore. The macro isn't being very useful right now, I'm gonna be honest. I have yet to use it again. Please? It hurts me when I have to use something with Vim motions and no spider. Yeah, I can imagine how much you can get used to it, because it does seem nice. Like, at first, like, automatic camel case feels weird, because it skips some stuff, yet it becomes more precise in words. It's surprising. But it is kind of more convenient, because it's so often that I actually like want to go here, for example, to then CE to change the end of the function name. Yeah, I guess I'm never fucking going to need the macro that I made. Yeah, literally. Yeah, so I'm like getting used to spider, and I quite like it. Using spider though makes me use capital W and B even more, but at least now use W, like the lowercase version, at least sometimes, which didn't used to happen that often. Like here it makes sense to use lowercase w, because I can trust it, you know? Nope. Finally, fucking finally. Oh. Woohoo! I used it once! Finally. We got to the place where it's actually going to be useful. And it's not useful again. Right, so I'm making the functions global and at the same time changing the, what are they? Mappings, where I use them. And we will split those into two different files. Actually, this can be this. Woohoo! Finally, we get to use the macro again. Hold up, that's not like this. Cool. Fuck. What do I do now? Capital J twice and then that. Interesting. Here it works once. Oh, Cold Snap. I haven't used it in such a long time. I still like it though. It's maybe neat. Like once or twice. Cool. Perfect. Now let's open init.lua and require VS Code. Okay, so here mappings Y capital P QMA and change this. Now VS Code mappings, VS Code functions. Now let's do that. So we move VS Code to VS Code mappings.lua and touch VS Code functions.lua. Mappings, boop. Functions, yes, VS Code functions. And here we go. Let's do this a bit smartly through having 2 panes. My internet is straight suspicious. The stream doesn't really die, but like I have no sticks. Alright, so I guess what I'm gonna do now is DD, move here, and actually I should have used GP, and after that I do this, and then GP is going to be fine. And fucking let's go. Actually, I know how to do it differently. DK, which is interesting. And here I do GP. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. D2 this. GP. And you just go on and on doing it. Wait, what? I thought, oh, that's just a continuation of the same line. I thought it was a separate line. I was like, what? That's crazy. That's where panes can kind of confuse you. And it's also interesting that it's not highlighted correctly, even though it's correct. I wonder if there's like a cleaner way to copy this function than just D3 down. I guess not really. I can scroll even more. D3 down. Well, not quite down. The curly bracket. Basically practicing my moves in Neovim while doing some stuff. I guess that is just, yeah, that is just D10 down. Can't really game the system on that one. D3. GRR actually, because I don't want that extra top blank line. D2 down. Oh, actually, D3 down. GRR also. I wish I could GRR but GP, you know? But at that point, what am I doing, you know? Like, I'm way too far deep in then. Talking about GP, I should be using it more. Outdent, which is really nice. Now I finally have something I could game the system with. D6. Control D rather. I remapped Control D and Control U to go 6 specifically lines down and up, and Control F, Control B is 12 lines up and down, which is strange and specific, understandably so, but it's been very convenient. Whenever you do like see a 6 or a 12, boom, you just have it. And in places where figuring out your screen doesn't work, like the diff window for Git, you still have a way to move. It's very convenient. I'm getting into a flow. Interesting that I don't make an own function for get stage file and just call it from there. But it makes sense. It's just like different levels of abstraction in the same function. That's like usually a bad practice. And well, it is still. It's just that it doesn't matter that much. Like, we're just configuring some Neovim. Come on, you know? I have needed VS Codium in the past for a single extension. Let me guess, Docker? Or something of that sort? What is it? Or actually, is it CodeSnap? Because CodeSnap is kind of cool. What else is like VS Code only? This is pretty cool. Yeah, that's it. Kinda. I should still set up VS Code Neo in case I ever need it. You definitely should. I think even if you like use pure Neovim, usually, maybe you want to like try out a new language, but don't quite want to go through the annoyance of like setting up the LSP and so on. Could open VS Code with the Neovim extension, like check out the language, and then if you want to continue, you can move back to your comfortable zone. Is that a tough sell? Sounds like it. But like maybe. Wow, that's a lot of mappings. You know what we can do? We can gaip 2 comma. Well, isn't that annoying? Because it caught the comma here. I think it's the only comma anywhere, so let's do this and then gaip again. You know what? Let's not. Yeah, let's just not. I can just uncomment and single line in my config. I have like 10 languages ready at any time. Damn, that's cool. But Walkwe is great and not available for Neovim. What is that? That's a goofy ass name. I love it though. And now that we see VS Code functions, there is indent and what am I doing? Indent and indent visual, which does almost the same thing. Yeah, but here we specify false, so they are different. But or a browser instance pointing to local IG. It's very convenient. The fact that you just have a browser in VS Code is crazy. Embedded System Simulator supports Rust unlike pretty much everything else. Huh. Cool. That's really cool. Let's go to indent. And paste it here because they are of the same breed. Keep like looking at my corkboard, trying to remember to use all the fucking cool stuff like DSI. DSI is so big. What else do I have? I have a text object for links. I can have something like D2 this. Right, and it only does it until the next blank column, I guess. Let's try something out. So what I could do, maybe I go here and then, yeah, how did this work? D this. I cannot for the life of me figure out when this is ever going to be useful. To the point where I should probably remove it. It's so hyper specific that I might as well not even bother trying to remember it, you know? So remove this. What else do we have? We have CN, which is a text object to the end of the line except a character. And that is very convenient for languages that use semicolons, for example. Very nice. Like, I know it's just one extra character I have to type in, but it's so convenient regardless. So we have DSI, we have R, which is very useful and I've already used it. We have a text object for value and key in assignments. And we have inside method access. Then inside pipes, inside double square brackets, which is very specific, and inside HTML attribute. I don't use HTML, by the way, but I'm like furiously hoping it's going to come in handy someday. Okay, updated my mind. Ooh, I can do something like C capital C. And this isn't N, believe it or not. It's basically change until the next closing bracket. Speaking of HTML, I should learn CSS. Me too, honestly. Super me too, because it's actually like useful, or at least it's supposed to be. And it shouldn't be that difficult. Like, I should definitely learn CSS. I'm just so not interested in web dev. I mean, I'm going into that direction with all the C# and frameworks that I'm learning, but God, I don't like web dev. It's so like not interesting to me. I would rather like just configure random bullshit like the whole day for the rest of my life. So I have less of a reason to procrastinating on rewriting my bar and ACOR wacky widgets. Huh. And GTK stuff, I guess. True. With CSS, it's probably like much simpler to do it. Cool, fuck. And like, it's so much clearer now to see how many mappings I have for VS Code and what they do. Then I could look at some of them and be like, actually, I don't use like some of these, and I could remove them, you know? It's very convenient. Reindent, I have never fucking used, I feel like. Or does reindent mean, yeah, it means like everything. Reindent everything. But that shit never fucking works. Yeah, it never works. I don't need it. Yeah, fuck it. I don't care. Actually, let's do the removing later. First, we should commit these changes, the fact that we made them at all. Right, so split VS Code into two files, Neovim Okay, now we can delete reindent. What else do we have? All of these I actively use. Toggle fold. I shouldn't be using folds. They're so badly integrated with Neovim, they pretty much don't work. So let's just not even attempt to. This I actively use. Stage file, all that. Yeah. Oh, this is for a plugin that I no longer use. So let's go here, delete it, go back, delete it. Oh, I have a thing to toggle breakpoint, which doesn't seem to work, which is really funny. Really? ZY. Like it's supposed to work. Yeah, editor debug action toggle breakpoint. It's supposed to appear. The idea seems reasonable and useful, so I'll keep it and then check out why it doesn't work. It's a bit later. So something that we can do when we have like things that repeat, what we probably should do, yeah, like here. So what we can, turns out, do is wrap this in brackets and specify the other thing here. I only recently learned that you could. So let's DSAQ capital B. I thought that was gonna work. Oh, YSAQ capital B. We percent sign to move and V. Sometimes you use Vim and you're like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, seriously? YSAQ fucking capital B? And then percent sign, like, and then you just plop the cherry on the top. It's beautiful in a way, but it's also ridiculous. Okay, YSAQ. Yeah, the upside is that once you get used to doing a certain motion, you get really fast at doing it. But I still recognize that it's very ridiculous often. What about functions here? Maybe it has some functions that I'm definitely never going to use. Format. Oh, rename symbol is very useful. Okay, yeah, it's there. Okay, everything good here. Clean up VS Code remaps Neovim. Cool. So we're done here. Big is fine, I'm not even going to touch it. I honestly can't remember what that and that do. Okay, it's something that you don't interact with often. And let's say I type in a sentence and another one and this one too. Fuck, I misspelled 2 sentences ago. So I press bracket to move to a sentence. I shit you not. You can use these to go sentences. What? And I actually use it. When I use Neovim to type, like actual text, I honestly sometimes use it. It's very convenient, but if you try to use it in code, it's too big of a mental overhead to figure out what the fuck it's supposed to do. So there it's not very useful. what delineates the sentence text object? I imagine a period, a question mark, or an exclamation mark. I guess. No clue. We can probably look at the docs if we were being fair here. Let's help this. Cool. Sentences backward. What is a sentence? Well, we can press capital K to go there. Yeah. Followed by either the end of the line or by a space or tab. Here you go. Any number of those may appear after that. Before the spaces, tabs, okay. Paragraph and section boundary is also a sentence boundary. So you can use sentences to basically go through paragraphs, but not as much. I also don't know what those do by default. I use them to go forward in tabs, buffers, etc. They don't do anything by themselves, but they have a lot of extra functionality. Let's try to look for help for this. Basically, they have a lot of stuff. Like a ridiculous amount. Even I don't know all of them. Just look at this. It has so much stuff. And that's, yeah. And some of them are convenient, like bracket P, for example, which adjusts indent, which I keep forgetting to use. I really should. Yeah. Cursor to and next unmatched those. Like, wow, that's so specific. Why do you have that, Vim? Yeah. So, by themselves, they do nothing. But combined with other stuff, they can be very helpful. There's something along the lines of, like, if we create a comment like this, we can go to the end of a C-style block comment, which is so specific. You can see at the bottom right what I'm pressing. Oh, and something that is actually super useful, I just don't use it. I really should though. Fuck, that's not what I wanted to open. I wanted to open a project. Yeah, let's tile. This is a master window. And this we make smaller. Then, since B for buffer next is 3 key presses. Why 3? Where's the third one? I guess enter maybe? I need to figure out something better. I personally just use alt and then period and comma, but I would imagine it wouldn't work very well as a Neovim specific remapping, but works in VS Code. Oh, it's on shift. Interesting. Makes sense actually. Yeah, curly brackets are used more often. Right, so let's go to somewhere in Rust, and it just works. God, I love it. Oh, that's weird. Then what the fuck? What? That's so strange. That's legit just goofy. Let's go to SRS. Why did my fucking syntax highlighting stop working suddenly? Okay. I imagine it's because of the chat. Yes, I'm gonna blame that the chat is a strange window. It has given me issues prior, so I think it makes sense. Okay, let's open main rs in Neovim. Alright, what am I doing? Italians. Yeah, goddamn. Sounds very uncomfortable. Right, so we can use and keyboards. I eventually want to make my own keyboard, which will work incredibly well, rather than... Often keyboards just have strange fucking choices, you know? Right, so we can use this bracket and M to jump to the next opening curly bracket. And then the same thing, but capital M, to jump to the next closing curly bracket. Then we can use this, M, you can guess what it does, and then, let's go to the bottom, this capital M, you can guess what that does. That is very useful. Like, very useful. But I keep forgetting to use it, and I very much should. I could share you my current keyboard project later. Definitely do that. I'm essentially just waiting for the time where I can invest quite a lot of money into my keyboard, because I want it to like be very good. Right, so why is it up suddenly? What? Like, what? Okay. So we have fixes, plugins, conf plugins. Let's go to keymap plugins and make sure nothing is explained. Ooh, this has a great opportunity to be, first of all, jar inside Word, then we YSAQ capital B, go here, X, O. We delete these lines, no longer need them. I was thinking of spending my time next year designing one. PCB, case, firmware. God damn. Oh wow, that sounds like a whole ass hobby. Well, I guess because it is. That's really cool. Wait, what did I just do? What I'm gonna do is just pay some person that does that, because I don't really intend to spend too much time on it, but knowing myself, I probably still will. Like, at first I'll be like, it's whatever, and then I'm like, oh, so here's my fucking third video on keyboards, and that's what I did today, and so on. Like, it always happens this way. Text objects. Ooh, text objects have a lot of stuff to be unexplained. Let's do it with rejects. First of all, let's check out quotes and whether... Actually, what am I doing? Let's search. There's not a single quote in this file. That is actually great. Right, so let's SD, and yeah, it remembers some things, but let's see. So local word is, we grab a group, then we have map, we grab all of that too. Yeah, actually this should just work. Instead of remaps, we do, actually let's do it here. We do text objects. Huh. Nice. Except some of these didn't quite work. In this episode of My Keyboard is so good I don't even have to type, I'll try to use the mouse without going to the hospital. Gone wrong. It's exactly what's going to happen. I feel like... I feel like I eventually will legit just ditch my mouse and will not use it. Just have a keyboard so good that I won't need a mouse. And I can actually see that being possible, because that was almost the case back on Windows, where I used to have an AutoHotkey script that pretty much did that. I'm probably ditching mouse for work stuff. Trackpad is good. Is it? I find that, like, hard to believe. Huh. I don't know, trackpad has always been so wonky to me, where using a mouse is much nicer. I think it's the, like, how fast it moves. I set my mouse to be the fastest it can. Gestures nice, brain go yeah, gestures are very cute. But like moving your mouse and then fucking I have a trackpad, by the way, too. And then to click something you have to raise your finger and then like it's kind of like you're using your finger for two different actions, for moving and for clicking. Well, with the mouse you use your hand to move and then your fingers to click. You separate your responsibilities, just like in classes, which is why I like it a bit more. Oh. Huh. That's new to me. Interesting. By the way, the issue that I was talking about is happening right now. The fact that I immediately just forgot what this is supposed to be. Code block text object. I should have explained them prior. Clicks using the left side of the split keyboard. Huh. Okay, that sounds okay. Interesting. Yeah, that sounds very much okay. Which doesn't sound like a great compliment. And I guess it's because it isn't. Yeah. Keep forgetting that I can CI %. It's not very complete because it's only like single line supporting. Not good enough. %sign. Yeah, %sign. Code block. I don't need to say text object because the whole file is about that. Wait, how? Yes, change inside %sign, but that doesn't work by default, which is so strange. Like, it very much should, and that's why I implement this text object. So here it is for visual mode, and here it continues to be for operator pending mode. You set it up or a plugin, if the latter, which I should be using a plugin for this, to be honest, but I didn't really come across one, so I just made it myself. It's not perfect. It only supports being on a single line, and it doesn't figure out which pairs. It just grabs the closest left one and the closest right one. But for something like simple, it's good enough. If you're like working with languages that use %signs for variables, I can think of V1 that does that. And if you use V1, I am so sorry. The double quote, I imagine? This is so hard to read. Can I, wait, hold up, can I? I can. Hold up, let me make this bigger then. The and the I still don't get what you mean by a double quote. Oh, I see. Yeah, I also remapped register access to a single quote. Like, what is... Oh, right, single quote moves you to a mark if you have it. But, like, you could just use the backtick to not just go to the line of the mark, but also go to the correct column in the mark. And then you can just make a remap to make it mean that, you know? So like, what? Why bother, right? So now I use single quotes to access registers instead. And it's broke, lol. Okay, unbroken. What is this? This I'm pretty sure. No, actually I forget. Oh yeah, markdown heading. Why when yeah, exactly. Honestly, like, there should be a CI inside this, and this being any character that isn't already a text object. Like, you should be able to just CI anything, like CIA, for example. If it's not a text object for you yet, you should be able to just use it like that, you know? So it's kind of strange that you can't. Kind of wild. Like, especially for percent signs. Like, come on, that's so obvious. Have you never seen a language that uses them for variables? They exist, that very much exists. Despite my desires, they do. So it's like, come on. There are probably plugins that do that kind of thing, but I have so many plugins at this point that those new plugins would probably override my current plugins, making it kind of, I don't know, inclusive next blank line. Wouldn't that be exclusive? Oh my god. Yeah. Huh. Wait. Does that imply that we could somehow access the variable app data? It seems like it does, which is really funny. That isn't inclusive, it's actually exclusive. Exclusive. And then we YSAQ capital B, we jump and we V. Is YouTube running on Windows Server? I sure fucking hope not, because come on. You know, like, come on. And also, like, why would the fucking chat be connected to a database? Like, directly. What are you doing, YouTube? Crazy. Wait, what am I doing? I like sometimes like looking at the bottom right and seeing random collections of characters. It's honestly kind of gratifying. Like, oh my god, did I really just use that? So they can remove the whole database in fraud if they ever feel like it. Nice. I wonder, has anybody hacked YouTube in any fashion using this? Because it's definitely weird. Like, why does it essentially escape percent signs there? It's kind of weird. Or actually, it might be for security, like, if you use percent signs, maybe it can translate into some link, in which case somebody clicks on it and dies. Maybe that? Like, I'm thinking maybe that's the case, who knows. Okay. So now what I want to do is make functions a bit easier to... I would think it would join it twice, no? 2 capital J. Really? Really? That's so lame. Right. I forgot, like, why do I always keep pressing capital J? Why not use a number? Because it doesn't fucking work. So that I can... Oh, yeah. I already read this. Thought it was a new message. Yeah. And we could implement something like J takes account, you know? And it's very easy, actually, to make. J takes a count. GJ maybe too. Because it's strange that it doesn't. Like, you would think this would be implemented already. And, like, it's not like I have a old version. No, it's like the release one. Because I use Arch, by the way. So it's like, what? Why? Neovim and Vim, like, leave me confused sometimes. Like, some very obvious features which are strangely not implemented. Especially when they're that easy to implement. Like, wouldn't you just make a for loop for in v count 1 execute capital J, you know? Like, why not? Let's fucking run Tokay somewhere. I don't know, just kind of randomly got a desire to do that. Let's go to ZLE. Why do my colors suddenly not work? Let's Tokay. Huh, MS Build is considered a language. Interesting. Cool. Alien Temple has 330. Oh, actually, 250 lines of code in C#. That's actually kind of useful. I can figure out how big a project is in terms of specifically code, discounting my choices for, like, formatting, I guess. Yeah, that's pretty nice. 0 comments. Fuck yeah. Chad and Gigabrain. Why? Because often when you're writing a comment... Hold up, let me resize this a bit. Often when you write a comment, it's because your code isn't readable enough as is. I'm not saying that, oh, all comments are bad. It's just that generally comments are bad. What I want to do now... Oh, shit. Why is this fucking... Why does this work like an actual fucking browser window? It's not really supposed to be. Okay. So, we SD, we start with local. What now? Fucking mouse, just disappear, please. Stop just being in places annoyingly. Okay, so local space and then basically everything. Okay, yeah. Then everything, this, no, actually, this, and the space, now we grab everything into a group, space and new line, another group, map, everything, comma, and again, space, everything, so we grab it until the end, and then we replace the second group, the first one, and we close it. Let's preview to make sure that it's correct. I definitely spent less time on this than I did the last time, which is convenient. Wait, what am I doing? Specify the fucking file name. Text objects. Okay. Ooh, interesting. It didn't work. Yeah, it's just straight up didn't work. Why? Local, as much as possible, then a closing bracket, after it a space with anything, and then space and new line, map, anything, until a comma again, space, and everything until the end of the line. Why? I'm confused. Maybe this? No. Strange. Do I really have to pop in regex 101 for this? At this point, it's definitely not worth it. But I guess I'm not doing it because it's worth it / not worth it. I'm doing it because I should get better at regex. And doing bullshit like this is very useful. Right, so let me just copy this. What is the regex? The regex is this. Now I wonder. Right, well, let's delete those because they're not actually there. Interesting. Legit doesn't work, huh? So we start with local, then anything. No mistakes in the regex itself, rather no errors. That space anything space, and maybe we don't need this. Yeah, okay, let's just remove these and see what happens. Nothing. Why? What? Huh. I'm confused. Okay, sure. I'll fucking start it. That you need cut off from end onwards. What? Okay, so it tries to Okay, yeah. Then it backtracks, which is exactly what I needed to do. Yeah. Okay, well. Yeah, it's a very inefficient regex. Wait, where are you going? You fucking got... What? Huh. What if I just... What? So it was because of the space here. Oh, what? Ah. Right, there's no fucking space here. Obviously. Ah. There's the rejects that you need, cut off from and onwards included. Bro, I do not get what you're saying. Right, so we don't need a space here, and then supposedly it should work correctly. The parentheses is confusing me. Yeah, so I need a literal parentheses, which is this one, and then this is a group that catches the actual like command that we're doing, and this is another group which matches this, and then we take this part first, then this part second. Ooh, actually makes me remember something that we also have to do. We put it here, and boom. Turns out it's like, no, what space was I thinking about? There was no space. So that already includes a space, so we just function this space, then that space and finish in text objects.lua, and let's watch it happen in real time. Let's turn down 1 second and do this. Okay. Oh, well, that's disappointing. I forgot to remove the -p flag. I'm sorry. Okay, let's try again. It didn't work. Let's go. Yeah, it didn't work, which is like, what? What happened? Ah, it thought that toFunction is a variable, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I'm correct. Holy shit. Boom, I guess. Also nice, like, training that I recognized, because I read the docs on SD, the fact that sometimes it will consider this to continue to be a variable, because I guess we could name a capturing group toFunction, like start it with a number, so we can separate it away like this. Pretty cool. Okay, that is so incredibly fun. CMD, let me show you. It's literally this. Because I was kinda annoyed at seeing it that way. Like, all of these looked kinda like uncomfortable to look at, you know? So now I have abstractions for them. Let's dd. I don't think you need to map a function to a function to call a function. you need here, because you can't just put a function here, because this place either expects a string or a function object, and this doesn't return an empty, it doesn't return a function object, it returns, well, something else basically. So here we do need to wrap it in an anonymous function at the very least. Okay, what does this do? Oh, this percent sign continued. And this is also exclusive next blank line. Previous next blank line. It's so much smaller now. Wow. That's brilliant. Yeah. That shit is honestly difficult to figure out. In Lua, I was so mad the first time I figured out that it works that way. The fact that I have to do some random bullshit like that is just eh. Though I thought there was a way to do that in Lua without function layering. I don't think so. I think you would have to specifically return a function, like through a closure. Which, like, yeah, you can do. But fuck that. It's just 3 tables. Huh. Or rather, an array of 3 tables. Interesting. Huh. Yeah. Huh. I didn't really look at it that way. Interesting, yeah. Wow, that's actually pretty important information. YouTube does that, yeah. Okay. You know what's the coolest thing about it? If I want to use this type of regex more or less again, while it's in my history, and I just, okay, yeah, this, we can use this as a starting point and then change it. It's very convenient. Really? What are you typing, man? That YouTube so valiantly tries to block you. Oh, windows were like switched differently here. It's kind of cute. Okay, so right, text objects is what I wanted to commit. Simplify text objects. My mappings .lua is completely different. It's just an array of 3 tables. Do you mean like the this function that I showed off? In which case, yeah, I would expect it to be exactly the same. But I think I'm misunderstanding you. Or do you mean like this is a table that is then accessing a table? Well, it wouldn't be an array. It would be access. Not quite getting what you're going at. YouTube centers messages that do have the symbol not at the end of the line, but before it. That's strange. Why? YouTube is so weird, bro. So if there is a dot inside of your message, that's crazy. So if there's a dot inside of your message, you get blocked. What? That, what? That's crazy, that's insane. Can I GD on this? Well, it's not what I quite wanted. Yeah, I can GD on this. Wow, I didn't know. So text objects for remaps, I think I already did the magic. I did. Registers. Ooh, here we also have to do. But I'm pretty sure here. Yeah, let's change this preemptively, because first of all it uses single quotes, and so do other things, and which means that this won't be affected, meaning we can chill out about it. Yeah, using regex here doesn't really make sense because it won't affect much. And I don't want to rewrite it. Alright. The file with a dot. Hold up. DAK and this. It's a bit slower. It's an interesting difference. Like, there's a way to spend a lot of time on a thing that will then become immediate. So you can write the regex and then your entire thing is immediately done. Or you can spend time doing it manually like this. I should be writing a macro actually for this, but I don't. Which may be faster, but you're like more in the process. I think both of these approaches are valid. Completely depends, not even on the like use case. It can sometimes depend on your literal mood. Maybe this is the type of thing that you want to do right now for whatever reason. Well, yeah, it's valid. Maybe you want to write some regex. So it's like cool to have the option, you know? Send. Can I open it on stream or should I open it on my phone? All right. Like, why does it pop in there? Okay. This should be a bit bigger. Okay. So we have N, and then later we have X, and then we have O. Oh. Wow. That's cool. That's so fucking cool. Wow. Forgot about the other two tables. Yeah, there are more than 3, but I definitely get the idea. Wow. And it's both more and less readable, which is the most fun thing about it. And it's also both easier and more difficult to add more. It's like very beautiful. That's a really cool idea. I'll star it. Yeah, I'll pin it. And also, there's something that I do, because honestly, fuck Discord. What? Oh. Please be bigger. Yeah. Fuck Discord for not having a global pin for myself system. Whenever I see like a very useful message in some server, I have no fucking way to just pin it for myself on Discord, which is so silly, which is why I have Discord. I have Discord pins. I shit you not. Cool table per mode Neovim Lua mapping idea. The reason I put so many words is so that I can for sure find it through fuzzy searching like this without remembering what I called it exactly. So I literally have like a thing for Discord pins, and if you're very patient you can just like look at the stream, write down this link and go there. I imagine if it's private you won't be able to access it, but yeah. This is very useful for a very bad reason. It shouldn't be useful, you know? Like, I shouldn't need this. But I unfortunately do because Discord is fucking stupid. Oh, right, yeah. It should. Let me try that. Pleading emoji. Works for me. Yeah. Coming back to this. Now this is like, you just look at symbols. You just look at straight up symbols and you're like, what the fuck is happening here? Okay, I look at this and this is not registers, this is features. This is so features. Discord really decided no love for you. Oh, oh no. This looks readable enough, I think. Yeah, whatever. So registers, features what you did. Okay, yeah. Neovim, done. Neovim is all good. Let's commit it. What did I even do? And to check that out, I use git diff. Very convenient when you're not sure what you just did that you want to commit. You can just look through git diff. So far is like the best way I found to check out the changes that you did. Right, so git diff. What do we change? Right, we simplify. I've heard of lazy git, but I don't actually want a git client. Be happy. Are you like saying, oh, you just install lazy git and it's gonna be so good? I tried Git UI, which is also a Git client, and like it's actually good. It's quite great, honestly. It's just I didn't feel like coming back to it. I just always come back to normal standard Git commands. They're very okay. If I say easy right now, I'm definitely privileged. But yeah, I kind of feel like they're easy. I'm used to them. They do what I want. And using a Git client, in a way, complicates things. It actually is so good. I used to use Git UI, but really missed a lot. I didn't, you know, like I didn't have any specific gripes with Git UI. I didn't have a single issue with it, you know? But it just kind of wasn't worth using, you know? Like, it's like fine, but whatever. Can I actually use Git UI for school since it has no... Interesting. I haven't ever used SSH for Git. I should try sometime. Simplify registers. And by the way, I recently added an option for my Git commits to display the Git diff, and I think I did it on stream too, which is so convenient. Deleting single commits each time I accidentally dox myself is amazing. Nice. But let me flex a bit. That is just git reset hard head and then you add this, and then you git push force. And to be fair, if you don't know it, it is kind of like complex. Like, how the fuck am I supposed to do? How the fuck am I supposed to understand this? But oh, by the way, git push only if you already pushed. You wouldn't need it otherwise. Just did not work with the normal git rebase -i. I use it too often. I haven't ever used rebase. I probably should. It's probably a better way than git reset harding. Git resetting harding heading. Because, oh, Jesus. Damn. Huh. Yeah, for that, you probably wouldn't git reset. I usually notice immediately, which is, I guess, why I didn't need rebase ever. I find out, shit, why is my credit card not on my bash RC? Why? Because maybe you needed to pay for something in your fucking shell? Would be cool if I can, like, Dodo. It's my favorite pizza place in Russia. Dodo, I don't know, fucking order, and then, like, preset, I don't know, 5, whatever. That would be so convenient. Yes, really, I don't even want to open a website. You just keep your credit card info in your bash RC, so it gets automatically filled out. That is so unsafe. That is hilarious. Like, wouldn't that be cool? Okay, well, to be real, it would probably store your information somewhere more secure. Could try and see what the website request is. And try. I don't know, like, it's one of those things that is almost guaranteed to be fruitless, when I also have a lot of things that are guaranteed to be fruitful. And spending my energy on something that's probably not going to work is like sus, you know? So this is the type of thing that I expect someone else to be interested enough in actually implementing. If you make a preset to buy fruit, it will definitely not read. That's such a good one. I want to star it. That's an incredibly good one. Right, so what I want to do right now is go through these things and do them. I love doing this sometimes. Okay, I love that. It will definitely not be fruitless. Okay, first of all, this I'm never fucking going to use because it's so hyper specific. It does a thing on something until what? No, not like that. Until the next, not even blank character, no blank line, and you have to count, which is very inconvenient. Like, it's difficult to count, you know? So yeah, so this D and this is just, I don't know, because D control V 9J, yeah, it's worse, but it doesn't. Well, let's try to argue for it. Like, I would rather it be useful than not, you know? So let's go to wrappers, where I have this. Okay. Can you... Okay. So I go here. Here is pretty clear. I can do D to this, and now it's boom, you know? Now that's convenient. But I still want it. But yeah, that's convenient, rather than Yeah, how would I do it usually? Yeah, no, it's useless. The built-in way of doing it is like clean enough and easier. It's unnecessary. It's so necessary. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but let's go to plugin. Oh, plugins, key map, and remove it because nah, it's like not useful. Where is it? Here it is. Let's, by the way, let's reload to make sure that everything works correctly still. Seems to be. Okay, removed it. Now this should have done a long time ago, but it wasn't that convenient because I used to be on Windows. Let me elaborate. When I control this F, I copy path of active file, meaning full path. When I was on Windows, that wasn't very useful because I was constantly dealing with Linux paths, and copying a Windows path isn't very helpful. Well, now it is actually pretty helpful. So let's YR. My bad, because yeah, fuck. Copy path. It's not supposed to be here. Let's delete it. Huh, interesting. I made this. Copy. Actually, let's look at this. Okay, then. Well, actually, YY. And now it works, so... Right. Copy relative, or rather, copy path. So, what we're gonna do, this is no longer needed, this either, we'll go back to that. So, alright, it's going to be relative by default, and on capital R, it's going to be full. What is this? What is this fucking hotkey? What is this? What is this? What are you doing? Seriously? Fucking Control, Shift, Windows, Alt, fucking Caps Lock, Escape, F1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, space, J, and then a chord K. What are you doing? It's just having hotkeys for the sake of having hotkeys, without them being actually like pressable. Like, why? F24, exactly. Press the fucking power down button to copy path. Be real. Right, so no, not references view. We copy this to create a VS Code function copy path, and then we VS Code notify, and it's just a function. Oh my god. Because what I used to have is a snippet, because this was that annoying to do. Now I no longer need that, and it's so big. It's so huge. It's so incredibly humongous. Is that really the entire thing? I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. It's just kind of sus, but yeah, seems to be the case. And then we make, actually we can bloop them together. Copy relative path. And then in normal mode I can press YR and Y capital R to execute these. Seems pretty reasonable to me. Copy, oh wait, I don't know it yet. Copy, relative path, end. Right. And we change these to y capital R and YR. Boom. Isn't that nice? And this works because I can still use YY to copy, which I'm already used to from Ranger. And now we go to VS Code mappings, go here, map in normal mode. When we press YR, we copy relative path, otherwise map. This is so much nicer than it used to be before. Oh my god. Copy path. Boom, we reload. We wait for Neovim loaded. Boom, we got it. Y capital R. Boom. Isn't that nice? Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Let's immediately commit it. YR. First of all, Neovim. YR copies relative full path. Damn, that's actually pretty fucking great. Alt D shoot CLX. Okay, I see. This is a fish thing. Let's go to config.fish. So if I'm on the terminal, you probably have seen it be done already multiple times. When I press Alt D, it scrolls the screen. But if I'm suddenly in VS Code, I open the terminal here, and I try to press Alt D, it doesn't happen, when really it should. So let's do exactly that. Basically, if I'm not in Kitty for some reason, it should still work, is what I'm getting at. Okay, so this is kind of fucking confusing. I wonder if you can embed Kitty. Depends on what you mean by embed. But yeah, kinda. Let me show you this thing. Yeah, this thing. When I press Meta F6, it opens a new Kitty window running Neovim. And now I can type in some text that will be copied to my clipboard once I exit. Isn't that cool? It's so convenient. I know there have been attempts to embed Alacrity as the VS Code terminal. Oh, that's what you mean. It's not like I'm going to be using the VS Code terminal regardless. If I'm being honest, it's very good. It's packed with really cool features, and I probably don't know about most of them. It's just that it's so important to me to separate my editor and my terminal. Otherwise, it just gets very messy to me. Yeah. Let's... Oh, interesting. This shouldn't be Wayland copy. Xclip. Yes. Okay, Y capital Y. We go back. We jar inside the word. Mwah. Capital Y, by the way, is a new text object that goes to the next closing quote. Which is somewhat annoying because if we Y capital Y, what I would want probably, well, if I did it with C instead, what I would want is get to here. But what happened is I got to there. Oh, really? Oh, that's great then. Right? Hold up. Y capital Y. Yeah! Oh, that's amazing then! I know there have been... Oh, yeah. I'm thinking of using to move lines. Unthink that, if I'm being honest. Unthink that. It's counter to the ideas of Vim. And you're overriding 4 keys. That is quite a lot. What you should be doing is deleting and then pasting. Because if you move, then you have to keep on repeating the same motion many times. It's very inefficient. You already don't have them mapped. Really? Why? Okay, K I understand. Nobody cares about K. Most people probably don't even know what capital K even does. That's like fair. But J is useful, no? Maybe you have it remapped to some other place, because the function of J is useful. It's just kind of... it's placed in too useful of a place to do that action. J is my M. Is it not useful to use M? I use capital M all the time. No, to me, capital M is so useful. Capital H and L, though, without my change, are pretty useless. I'm gonna be honest. Okay, so these are Alt hotkeys. These are trying to fucking sort these out. Let's add a new line here. So these are both for the same thing, which is why I keep them separated like that. This is a complex hotkey because Control-Alt-X. These are non-complex ones, and these are Alt. It should be ideally here if the syntax highlighting didn't break. So let's move it here. Okay, gotcha. So bind dash capital M default Alt, so Alt D, in which case we move it here. We don't need this. Okay, so Alt D does clear dash X and also does it in insert. I never would do it in default, so let's actually do this. Yeah, cool, done. Alt D works even not in Kitty. Add shell prompt color map. That is kinda like boring, so it's not stream content. It's not very interesting. Ooh, that's easy and nice. Get glyph margin, maybe? No. Get gutter. Let's look at it like this. Yes, gutter width 30 is the default. Is it ugly? Not quite. What happens if I 5? Oh, it's so adorable. It's actually kind of cute. Oh, I didn't use it enough. I should probably find a better replacement. But HJKL are in such a good place. Exactly. That's why using them to move lines is, I think, a waste. Because you're not really supposed to do that regardless. Because it's inefficient. And what I did, personally, and the control variants are taken up by changing window. They're also taken up by Neovim itself, because if you use Control J, that is exactly the same as pressing enter, so you shouldn't, you know? Yeah, so you couldn't use that even if you wanted to. I do it very often, I mean for lateral movements. You mean like horizontally? Because if vertically, like say I want to move this line here, I shouldn't grab it and move it like myself. For ASCII aligning markdown tables, etc. Let me get to that after I show off this example. Yeah, so I shouldn't be moving it interactively. I should be DD, then I move there and do this. Or if I want to just switch it with the next line, I have a key map where that basically turns DP into DDP. And we have the opposite for ASCII. Now, that is super valid, honestly, because if you do it like that often, then I can see it, like, yeah. But in that case, there is a plugin actually for Neovim that specifically moves lines. If you want to do this, probably use a plugin because it's probably going to be better, like in terms of performance. I tried using it, by the way. It was not great compared to moving using this moving using VS Code. It wasn't as smooth, but it worked. It did what it's supposed to do. Now, aligning markdown tables, you should be doing with another plugin. I use Easy Align, I think. Let's check out plugins. And now I can, oh my god, now I can just go specifically to this place. That's so nice. I have a plugin called Vim Easy Align, and it's incredible. I mega recommend it. It might solve your issue for aligning markdown tables because it's very, very, very nice. Mini.move. Yeah. I think it's that one. I think I tried that one. Yeah, if you move like that often, like saying for ASCII, then yeah, I could see it being a reasonable idea. Easy Align though is mega helpful regardless. I use it all the time. It's very flexible, like super flexible once you understand how it works. God damn. And the times where it isn't flexible, you still can use rejects. Normal rejects, by the way, if I remember correctly. Like, not weird rejects, but normal rejects, which is just wow. Very cool. Now, after I increased the git margin, and they're now very big and very cute. They're so adorable. Now this margin, which is actually the fold margin, is unnecessary, I think. Also, did you know that, but is that true? Is that true? That's crazy. I guess that's the case, huh? But I'm not mad, because it actually makes more sense being this way. Often, if you left some trailing white space, it's probably because you want it. And if you don't, you do something about it, right? So you probably wanted it. Meaning that ending up here would probably be very annoying. Okay, but try GI. I forget what it does. Why is G capital A not a thing then? Good question. Very good question. Huh, I completely forgot. I completely forgot about G capital I. What I used to do is just 0I. Well, if I'm being more real, what I used to do is 0 capital I. No. I guess 0I. Whenever I did need that, but that happens incredibly rarely. Yeah, did exactly that. Yeah, that's another like really weird thing. But this situation like never happens. Like I always either want to do this or move here, which happens very rarely, by the way. I barely ever press 0. And if I'm here, it's probably not because I want to type here, you know? Oi! It's like people using BE instead of GE. Yeah, but BE instead of GE is actually a good argument. I'm sorry. No, why? Because you can do it with you can do it fast because you can use 2 hands at a time, or rather 2 fingers at a time. When you try to do the same thing with 1 hand, so GE, it feels quite a bit more uncomfortable. And then if you add G capital E to the picture, now it's just ridiculous. Where B capital E is easier to press. B capital, oh, hold up. Yeah, B capital E. Just easier. Just straight up just easier. And it's sad because I want to actively use GE, but it's just so unreasonably placed. That depends on the keyboard. Well, most people use QWERTY, so like, it's not really an argument. Maybe orthogonal or split, but is the also GE is the text object. Yeah, that's true. Well, no, that's false. It's still a motion. It's a motion, not a text object. But if you were like D, B, and no, you wanted GE actually here. But the fact that you pressed B, that's a single motion. And these are 2 motions, where GE is a single motion, not 2. So I see your point. And yeah, if I need it with operators, I would use it. But if I'm just moving around, I'm not going to remember to use GE. Not often, at least. But I think that it should be called differently either way. GE or text objects. I actually really like that text objects are called text objects. They just sound very cool to me. What is it? Fucking folding. Fuck folding. Wait. I think you just remove it here. Well, I guess here. Both motion and text objects don't describe GE or B in those instances. They don't? To me, it feels kind of like very obvious, I guess. Well, both of them are motions. GE and B are motions, and they move you to some place. A text object is a selection on which you can operate. That's, I think, the best way to explain it in simple terms. Fuck. Well, no, that's ridiculous. You know what? Although, as a Rust enjoyer, text structs sounds instinctively right. But when you think about it, no, it's quite ridiculous. Melissa has no tongue willing to pronounce it true. It's actually pretty difficult to pronounce. folding strategy. Let's simplify the folding strategy because I don't intend to use it regardless. So if I never, that happens. Mouse over is the best. What? No. Cool. Cool. Let me just look at something. Okay, cool. I would ideally want to put some space before this and the starting. And right now, the only way to do it for me is to enable fucking, what's it called? Folding. Which is like, okay, but by simplifying folding, I might make my editor like a millisecond faster or something. Let's try it again. Is it too bad? This is over the joke. I'm not a psychopath yet, I swear. Well, honestly, I can see myself like getting into that mindset where I legit would think, oh, text structs isn't too bad. Yeah, but what is bad is how this looks. Like, no, it's really not possible. It's a bit too much space here. But yeah, it's more reasonable because otherwise, if I put the text way too to the left, now I'm looking not in the middle at all. I look too much to the left, and this is like a free space, which is just like unnecessary. Trexis. What? Yeah, text structs. Oh, I actually did this. And this later. And Toxres. Toxres sounds very posh. What it means though, God fucking knows. But it sounds cool, which I think is more important. I think we should always pay more attention to what sounds cool compared to what makes sense. There's no way it can be pronounced easily. Yeah. Yep. Okay, yeah. Texas. I mean, it's all, I don't know, it works. Oh, I just implemented a Texas. A what? Huh? You know? Features. Let's go to features. And I don't think, actually, what we should do is rip grep, and we try to find capital J. And I think that's it. And I don't have it. However, if I GJ, I do have it. In features, as I thought. Let's go to G capital J. Damn, that's fucking complicated. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna add support for this. Sounds kinda annoying to implement. I actually kinda love the big lines. They're a bit ridiculous, but they're very visible. Right, so local join lines. Actually, what am I doing? First of all, we're gonna need a function regardless for this. Probably not going to use for moving lines, but I will leave them unmapped. That's the most surprising decision. Why so? It's quite interesting. Okay, what I'm gonna do is map in normal mode, capital J, to do a function which is anonymous, and we end it, and then we put something here. I just have engraved by now that HDKL have to be directional actions. Yeah, I agree, but wouldn't that mean that using them for moving would make a lot of sense? I got used to using H and L, the capital versions, to move around, got used to using capital J to join, and capital K to close a file, by the way. So I wouldn't change them personally, but it seems like for you, using them to move stuff makes a lot of sense. So like, why not use them for moving? It's not so needed from what you showed me. Oh, okay. That's good to hear. So like DP to DDP and so forth would be enough for you, I guess. It's definitely enough for me, but it took me quite a long time to get used to using it instead of the moving feature. It takes like a really long time, I'm gonna be honest, to get used to it. But once you do, yeah, I think it's worth it, because one, you can delete, or rather cut, you can cut in very different ways, and then you can paste in very different ways, where you have a lot of control, where you don't with moving. I use DDP most of the time. DP, meaning DDP, is so big. It's like surprisingly big. You wouldn't think it is, because, oh come on, it's just one extra key. But you do it so often, or at least I do, that making that remap, it's wow. And especially D capital P, because DDK capital P, now that is annoying to do. Not too ridiculous, but kind of ridiculous. And making it D capital P is just so nice. The issue is mainly horizontal, but since you showed me that alignment plugin, you can try to go search for something for rush yard. Well, that's brilliant. That's really nice. The fact that you could figure out a Vim philosophy type of solution is very nice. I say Vim philosophy, but using a plugin isn't exactly Vim philosophy. What I mean by that is the philosophy of making sure you make as little repetitive actions as you can. Right, so I could use them to move the camera. That makes incredible sense, especially if you don't wrap lines. That makes a lot of sense. Or even what you could do, if you do have wrap lines, which I honestly recommend, is capital H, capital L is moving like top down and centering your screen, and JK just moves your screen. How does that sound? Right, so function, let's mark this, because I do something like this somewhere. I guess not here. I have a wrapping only enabled for text, markdown, and LaTeX. Really? I'm always so flabbergasted by people that don't have wrapping enabled. Like, I'm so surprised, you know? Let's try to find 4. Wait, what? Do I not use a for loop? That's surprising. Well, lines should not be over 80 anyways. I mean, yeah, but if a line is over 80, it's so convenient to be able to easily read it still. Everything in big, by the way. Oh, pfft, I'm fucking stupid and a dumbass. I didn't look at all the output. Now this makes sense. So it was in VS Code functions. Okay. VS Code functions. Let's search for 4 with a space. Here we go. So let's copy this, close, grr. Okay. Do command norm j. I'm still procrastinating. That's what I've been doing the whole day. Just doing some Lua stuff, which ultimately doesn't matter. I like doing it a lot, but if we are being real, it's procrastinating. So, same. Right. I never embedded a function inside of a mapping. I've never done that. It's kind of new to me. It's interesting. Okay, let's reload and see what's up. Can I? J? No. I can't. E5. Hold up. Output is, I think... No, I don't remember. The fuck? Is this the stack trace? God damn. How do you print an empty message, by the way? Is it the zero width joiner or something? Right, so why doesn't this work? You know what? Fuck it. Feed keys. Don't care. Feed keys. I almost want to rename it for the joke, but I won't. Okay, J works. 2J also works. It should have been working the entire time by default. So it's very strange that it doesn't. Like, this type of thing is something that you want to do often, but it should be. Oh my god, and it's single U undoable. Mwah. As it should be. Fuck yeah, why haven't I done it a long ass time ago? Should I either study, get going with CSS, say goodbye to Bash, or figure out how to make laptop locking good? Just send a space. You can do that? That's crazy. I didn't think you would be able to. I would imagine that the text is pre-processed to be trimmed, and if it's nothing, it's not sent. Or rather, you're not allowed. That's strange. Pretty much everything works differently. Like on Discord, you can't send a space. You can send an underlined space. That's like the cool trick that everybody knows. But you can't just use a space. Huh, interesting. I've been using SD today a lot, and I'm really happy about it because I wanted to really integrate the program into how I work. So I'm very happy about it. Can also then edit it to be actually empty. Huh, I didn't know that. I didn't know you could. Forgot how. Yeah, because I wouldn't imagine you can just remove everything and press enter. I doubt it. Instead of a variable name, it actually should be a comment, which is rare that this would be the case. I feel weird about it, but I'm pretty sure that's the better decision. Wait. This comment is long enough where you can pretty clearly see there is a lot of specifics that actually kind of need to be explained here, that a variable name doesn't do its justice. I would love to have Misha here immediately, so because he would probably argue for the opposite thing. No, actually you should be using a variable still. Or at least I think he would. But I think this is one of the rare cases where a comment is better. Which goes to show how fucking cryptic Neovim is. God, but I actually love this so much. It's so clear where my changes are. Spaceless joiner. Yeah, you're right. You're so right, actually. You're 100% right. Spaceless joiner. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, you won. Because that is better. And it's still not explained that why we need that. Yeah, spaceless joiner doesn't explain why can't we use the built-in GJ, and it's because GJ joins the lines together without changing anything, meaning that it will also include leading whitespace. Spaceless joiner doesn't explain that, so this is a why comment. Actually, join current line with next line with no space in between, also discarding any leading white space of the next line, because GJ would include indentation stupidly. Check Discord. Okay. I find it cool that usernames are truncated when you're in streamer mode. Send a gift from the picker. Oh, I know about this actually. I know about this and I love it. Okay, we need a trending GIF. What's not a cringe GIF? Those are rare. It's okay. Fuck, I love this so much. It's such a classic. And what's funny, you can do it again. And I think that's the last time you can do it. You can't triple sex it. Yeah, you can't triple sex. I love this so much. It's so like, and once you understand how it works, you're like, oh, I love it. It's brilliant. Wow, I switched to this and I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? This looks better now. Which is rare when a comment looks better than a variable explaining something. That's so new. Yeah, I'm gonna rewrite some of these with comments. What am I doing? I have another one. I might also know about this too. Try. There was another one, I forget what it is. Fuck. So there's sex, which is really funny. There was another one, and I forget what it is. For some reason, my head is responding, there is also chess. But I don't think that's... Oh, because you can make chess, right. Keep trying, man. Fuck yeah. But I forget what it is. Like how you invoke it. And surprisingly enough, I don't think I have it like saved somewhere. Chess. I don't, but I have something better. I have something better. Let me make it work. Hold up. Let me make this a master window. Let me turn this on.
I haven't been holding hands with God recently.
Does that, how much have you been jacking, man?
My hands are full, Charlie.
Are your hands full of balls?
No, they're full of 300 Chinese finger traps.
Whoa!
300 Chinese finger traps! 300 Chinese finger traps! 300 Chinese finger traps!
300 Chinese finger traps! 300 Chinese finger traps!
Nails and brads, built to last. I haven't been holding.
I fucking love the comedy of Schlatt. It's so fucking simple. Just repeat the same thing again and again. Found it, huh? Okay. So what do we do? Confused, befuddled gif. Right, and I forget that now when you type a message, like you can literally use it to fix things. I kind of forgot about it. Nah. Like you can literally use it. You were too fast. You were too fast. I didn't catch it. Okay. Let's do that. let's do that. Trending GIFs, something not entirely cringe. So first we do sex. Then we do swag. Fucking hacking. Wait, what? Oh, here we go. That's fucking cool. And then you can fucking play chess with said. How cool is that? Technology is so amazing. Really? Damn, okay. It was really fun having you on the stream. Thanks for coming. I'm gonna continue on, apparently making things more readable, which I'm so surprised by. You know what I'm gonna do? See ya. Yeah, I'm not sleeping for a few more hours, so we might talk again today, or maybe not, I don't know. I like to put comments on the same line, because then if I need to move the line, I can do that, you know? And if you have no wrapping for lines, well, boom, great, amazing. Yeah. Because then you can look at the comment if you want to, but you don't necessarily need to. You know what I'm gonna do? Okay, let me check. How much money do I have? Probably enough. I want to order pizza. I've talked about Dodo today on stream. I actually want to order pizza. Like big time. So let me hide the screen for a sec so I can check whether I can show you a part of it on stream. I'm still here, don't you worry. I just want to check. It shows you where I live. I'm sorry. Okay, well. Okay, that's. I'm gonna take a code. I know my order really well, so it's not gonna take long. Why not on my phone? I hate using my phone overall. It's pretty annoying. Right. Or actually, do I? Should I order? I don't. Okay, let me check my money again. It's like. I don't know. I think it depends on the money. I have negative 200 rubles. How I did that? Good question. The bank for some reason trusts me a bit too much. Huh. Should I or should I not? It's very what word am I looking for? Romeo and Juliet? No, not quite. Basically the dude that talks with a skull and says to live or not to live, that's the question, or something of that nature. It's very cringe. I know, I'm just toxic right now as hell, but I don't know, it always felt kind of annoying to me, that specific type of phrase. I guess it's because of all the satire on it that I've seen. It's not actually the default saying that I'm annoyed by. It's all the satire that I've seen that made me annoyed. Huh. Yeah, so it's that type of question for me. Do I order pizza or not? On one hand, yay pizza. On the other, am I going to enjoy it to the extent where it's worth the money? Well, fuck yeah, I have a fucking terminal tool for this. Twice ordered pizza. Just eat food at home, bozo. Well, here we go. Here we fucking go. I mean, finally, I have a use for the tool that I made. So, like, fuck yeah. So let me order pizza. And then we'll come back to configuring Lua to be more readable with comments, which I would never guess would be the case, but turns out, you know, turns out. Right, so can I just repeat my order? Guess not. Alright, buy that. Yes. This. Boom. Yeah. That. Boom. Any second now, and it should be ordered. Okay, so they take around like 30 to 40 minutes to deliver the order. It would be very convenient to end the stream and immediately eat. So that's why I'm ordering on stream. Sorry for the delay though. Let's get back into it. I'm still flabbergasted that this is more readable now. It's usually not the case. Huh. Okay, so interestingly, this doesn't really need to be explained. D capital C. So capital C goes specifically to the closing brace rather than any next brace. But it's usually capital Q, but I made it capital Y. That goes to any quote. Like what? But okay. So we DT this, then DAW. We do this and GR inside word. Boom. This doesn't need to be explained because we feed keys, which if you've seen my config, you should probably already know what this is. If you don't, that's what it does. Whatever. It basically just types keys as if you did that. Then, however many times, however big the number is, go down that many times and to the end of the line. Or rather, go up. Right, go up. Multiply visual. I actually like it this way. Delete up to the last line end. What? Delete up to last line end. This is exactly the sort of example where a comment will be more readable. Delete from the current position to the last character on the previous line. Fuck. Yeah, it's more readable. What the fuck? How does this keep happening? I guess I'll leave stuff with comments first, then single line stuff second, so like this for example, then multiple line stuff. That makes sense to me. This should be commented. Fuck, when did I last comment anything? Okay, delete. Is this multiply visual func like the multi-visual multi-cursor Vim plugin? Probably not. I doubt it. So multiply visual, let me just show it off how it works. Say I select this, then press leader Q, and it multiplies it. And then you can even provide 5 leader Q, and it multiplies it that many times. So there are now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? It's hard to count. Let's look at true. It's probably going to be easier. 5 leader Q. So it adds that many. So yeah, if you do it once, it adds 1. So it's not really multiply, it's add really, but multiply kinda. Yeah, so and then we have leader Q in normal mode, just multiplies the current character. It's surprisingly convenient. I do a lot of, say I do this, I would actually be the person to do this rather than retype the word. So multiplying certain characters is actually very convenient. Take the contents of the line, but delete the line too. When was the last time I made a comment at all? Happy you're here, by the way. A lot of Neovim config has happened today, and I actually haven't said this, surprisingly, but you are the inspiration for all this. It's you who showed me your cool use of the Lua features to make stuff look better, and I was like, fuck, how am I better than this person in Neovim, yet worse in Lua? I should step up my game. So I decided to do exactly that. And now my config is split into, I think, 14, now 15 probably files, with a bunch of abstractions and so on. So thank you. I wouldn't have gotten to it otherwise, I feel like. This is fucking goddamn. Vor out line into block. I remember vividly that I named it this way. Specifically because it's funny. I had it named better, but war was funny to me, so I named it that way. That's good. I will eventually see the VODs. Yeah, that's great. I think I implemented some functionality too, but for the most part, it was a bunch of like moving things around, and now they make much more sense. It's much easier to follow, I would say. Because I'm sure there are a lot of useful things I can steal, absolutely. There's a lot of stuff in my config, which are like, which you see and you're like, oh right, that is useful. I mean, I say that because it's useful to me, obviously, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be useful to quite a lot of people. When it used to be just one huge file, it's hard to go through and really understand anything, but when it's split into multiple files, it gets much more readable and much more easy to follow. So currently what I'm doing is making things more readable. And waiting for pizza too. Right, so what does vor outline into block even mean? Let's say if condition code. I don't quite remember what it does, if I'm being honest. Leader di. Hold up. Oh, right. So leader di. What does it do? It's very useful, trust me. I just forget what I use it for. I do use it though, by the way. Truly nicely organized tree structures are like 50% of programming for me. True. That is especially true recently for me with C#. The amount of organization of files and fucking boilerplate you have to do is crazy. Gets me into a nice habit of caring about it though, so that's a good thing. Vor outline into block. Leader di. No. Leader di. Oh, I guess. Oh, I see what it does. So, trust me, I actually do use it. I just forgot. So, we do if condition. We do some condition, and I want to put the code, or rather the line that goes after, into that condition, because I realize I don't want to run it always. And now I press escape and the leader di, and here I go. C#, oh my god, yes, I was really tempted to go to Visual Studio for that very reason. I tried Visual Studio, and it was so fucking horrible that went back to VS Code, and I have been on here ever since. Because in VS Code you have to manually set up everything in C#. That's no longer true, at least not fully, because if you download the correct extensions, so C#, obviously, C# dev kit, very important, the .NET install tool for is going to be installed automatically, so you don't have to worry about remembering its name. IntelliCode for C# dev kit, maybe something else. No, that's it. So if you install those extensions, the C# experience on VS Code actually gets really good. Like, it's really good. Yeah, at least at first you kind of have to. Maybe with some things, but don't quite remember what would be that would match. I guess like creating a new file, like in Visual Studio you can create new and then maybe class, and it fills in with the snippet, but like you can make your own snippet and boom, that's it. So it's not a huge deal. Well, you don't even need to make your own snippet, because there is a snippet already for a class. It's not very useful, at least not to me, because I made my own, but it is there. I mean, even if you install the relative plugins, they still do not really overpower the Visual Studio packaging of C#. That's true. Yeah, that's definitely true, but it's just that Visual Studio is so bad that what VS Code provides is more than enough to overpower how good Visual Studio is, because it's not. It's bad, it's horrible, and I hate it. You know what? It's almost sad that it's bad, it's horrible, and I hate it is probably one of my catchphrases, or at least it feels like that's the case. It's bad, it's horrible, and I hate it. Okay, actually, that catchphrase kinda slaps. I actually like it. It's bad, it's horrible, and I hate it. I don't know, I gotta fuck with it. That's only a downside, so you have to learn to work with C# over the command line, which is only bad at first until you actually do it. Well, yeah, I already like using the command line to work with stuff. And yeah, I've been using the .NET CLI. It's honestly very fine. It's super fine. I like Cargo more, but .NET CLI is fine. It's very fine. Just make some abbreviations and you're so good. I can see it being like uncomfortable if you're not used to using terminal applications to begin with, or rather terminal CLIs, but I'm used to using them, and yeah, it's quite convenient, I would say, rather than having to click some fucking buttons. Visual Studio is horrendous. I remember opening it for the first time, and I tried to configure some very simple things, and god, that was so, like, incredibly annoying. Yeah. Where was I? Right, writing a comment for this. Is that displayed? It's interesting that... My pizza... pizza... what? Pizza order isn't displayed in the app, but it is displayed. It's strange. Okay, so what does leader DI mean? Grab line Oh, now vor makes incredible sense. I see why I said vor, because in if condition code, so what literally happens, we grab this line into nothing, we grab this line and we vor code. We ate it right now. I see why I said vor. It makes incredible sense. It's probably hilarious how incredibly seriously I'm saying that right now. Yeah, so vor makes sense, but it doesn't until you understand it, meaning that it doesn't really make sense. I guess consume is a more friendly term. Consume the line consume line after the next. I'm not gonna explain what this actually does. I'm going to explain why it exists. Add line of code after block into block. Push line of code after block into block. Yeah, that's better. I was gonna explain what it actually does, like what movements it makes, to explain how you can potentially use it, but I'm just going to explain the why of why I use it. I haven't written comments in so long that I forget how to write them correctly, because usually I don't have to. Right, this. Oh, that's actually somewhat sad. I don't need this anymore. This used to be essentially a macro to turn a normal function into an arrow function in AutoHotkey v2. And this being the opposite. I don't need this anymore. This is kind of sad, actually. Like, sentimentally sad, you know? Damn. Goodbye, HK. Damn. That like, I'm honestly, that's kind of sad. Okay. Right. This probably makes sense to add there, you know? Move a line to the top. Not yet. DAK doesn't work because it searches forwards. And it's also weird that it says not found in the next 5 lines instead of the actual value that I defined, which is 2, not 5. It's interesting. I actually like really enjoy this. The fact is, like, it's fat, it's very visible. Like, these are the changes! Basically screams at you. And I enjoy that. Not in every context though. Now this I just agree with. Let's do it a bit differently. Let's put it here. This should go after. And here we go. And here we go. And this commit will be clean up formatting, features, Neovim. Yes, 2 colons, which I am always like afraid of using because I'm pretty sure that's incorrect grammar, but it's so convenient sometimes that I want to nest my declarations, I guess. Right, okay, so features, yeah. J does take account now. So I can do 2 capital J and it works. It used to not, which is strange, just really strange. Hotkeys to resize panel, right. Resize panel, maybe? They're already calling me? Hold up. They are already here. That's crazy. Fuck. Ending the stream, I guess. Goodbye. Bye. I got pizza. Bye.